Sports are a magical thing. You move your sight away from the screen for a minute and miracles happen. And you accidentally miss one of the most important moments in the history of sports. So today we're going to take a look at some of the most embarrassing moments in the history of sports. If you've missed them while they're happening, don't worry, because we'll be covering some of the best, funniest stare downs in the history of sports with a twist of humor and sarcasm. To enjoy the video, make sure you watch all the way through to the end. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press that bell icon so you never miss an update. Also, share your favorite sports moment which still cracks you up. Let's start the video. Number 1. The worst national anthem. At the 2013 Memorial Cup, when singer Alexis Norman went about torching the U.S. national anthem into crispy nothingness. There have been days of high-quality hockey at the Memorial Cup. The biggest story of the tournament thus far has clearly been the national anthem nightmare that preceded the Portland Winterhawks' 7-4 loss to the Halifax Mooseheads in the tournament opener for both teams. The almost entirely Canadian crowd at the Credit Union Center stepped in to help, but Norman bounced around, making it hard for anyone to figure out where she was in the song. At one point, it seemed like she tried switching to French. Eventually, Norman gave up and allowed the crowd to finish the song for her and regrouped to deliver a beautiful bilingual rendition. Today, even after 7 years, the game is remembered due to her worst efforts, which gave gags to everyone in the stadium and at home. Number 2. Kent State player returns ball the wrong way. When you get out there on the field and you're just so happy to be with the bros, you don't realize you just returned the punt the wrong way. Kent State linebacker Andre Parker may end up being the most uttered name for all the wrong reasons. During Kent State's 41-21 win over Towson, Parker picked up a muffed punt and advanced it 58 yards in the wrong direction. The play was actually called back and Kent State kicked a field goal, but the fact that the play happened and was never initially blown down by officials made for high comedy as Parker, a sophomore who had played sparingly last season, joined the likes of Roy Regals and Jim Marshall as infamous wrong-way runners. Number 3. John Wall's first pitch. There have been worse first pitches, but few thrown by pro athletes in their prime. John Wall threw out the first pitch before Friday's game between the Washington Nationals and Baltimore Orioles at Nationals Park. And if you're wondering how it went, all you need to know is that Wall was talking about redemption immediately afterward. He waved to the crowd in his personalized curly W Nationals jersey with the number 2 on the back and front. Wall even had the leg kick and showed proper form as he dropped down to throw the ball. The problem was the release. The ball squirted from his hands, curved left, and clipped a few blades of grass before bouncing into the glove of Nationals closer Drew Storen. Storen had to hop from his crouch and leapt to recover the ball, and Wall covered his mouth with his left hand to hide his laughter. Number 4. The ignominious butt fumble. Much like an earthquake or chain lightning, sometimes something happens in sports so terrible you can feel it in the air. The butt fumble was the New York Jets' doomquake. The moment Mark Sanchez's face met Brandon Moore's dumper, Jets fans around the world knew that all the other turnovers and facepalm moments were but tremors leading up to this tipping point disaster. The butt fumble was a notorious American football play from a National Football League game played on Thanksgiving Day, November 22, 2012, between the New York Jets and New England Patriots, in front of the home crowd of over 79,000 fans at MetLife Stadium and a primetime television audience of over 20 million people. Number 5. Nick Young's layup to nowhere. In the second quarter of the Washington Wizards' surprising comeback win over the Lakers on Wednesday night, Nick Young pulled off an embarrassing missed layup. Given the astonishing output of head-scratching fails for Washington, Wizards rookie Shelvin Mack stole the ball from All-Star center Andrew Bynum and immediately found Young breaking down the court for a wide-open layup. With Matt Barnes behind him but not contesting the shot, Young went up for the layup but somehow managed to throw the ball over the backboard and out of bounds. At least Young can say it didn't nearly cost his team the game, as the Wizards went on to rally from 21 points down in the second half to upset Kobe Bryant and the Lakers 106-101. Number 4. The Prince Fielder flop. The Red Sox beat the Tigers in Game 6 of the ALCS to advance to the World Series, thanks in large part to a base-running gap by Prince Fielder, when he was caught off at the third base and was tagged out as he tried to dive back to the bag. The out killed a Tigers rally, but Fielder's belly flop slide was also highly entertaining. The slide led many on the internet to create parody GIFs. Number 3. Trawls before bros. With 15 seconds remaining in overtime and the Pioneers shorthanded, the puck came to Bearden off a defensive zone faceoff, and he immediately, instinctively fired it 200 feet into the empty net to win the game. With his team tied 1-1 in overtime with Denver University, the Utah State goalkeeper allowed a 200-foot shorthanded goal when he wandered off to talk to fans. Referees dropped the puck while McHenry was chatting by the boards, and a Denver University player shot into the open goal from a long distance. Number 2. The vomit-inducing fart submission. A jiu-jitsu practitioner took things a little too far doing a North American Grappling Association (NAGA) tournament as two combatants engaged in a tense ground battle. As both fighters worked for position, the opponent with the white rash guard farted directly into the face of his opponent, who immediately threw up everywhere. The fighter with the black rash guard was unable to cope with the smell of the fart and yelled, "He farted in my face, man," with a look of disgust on his face. He sat down in shock and gestured to the official before wiping up his own mess in the unsavory incident. The unsavory incident occurred at a Naga Jiu-Jitsu tournament as the two unnamed competitors engaged in a heated floor grapple. Something clearly had to give in the exchange, but no one, certainly not the unlucky victim, expected it to be the glute muscles. Unable to cope with the smell or shock of the fart, he lost his lunch on the floor, causing the offender to reel base in shock. As the audience gasps, the embarrassed fighter, lying in his own vomit, can be heard defiantly protesting to the referee that he farted on my face. Number 1. MMA fighter's mom climbs into the ring. The instinct is probably to laugh and poke fun at a fighter who, besides suffering the indignity of losing quickly and for no money in what was very possibly his first fight, has to explain away his mom's instinct to go a few steps beyond crying in her seat. But mothers are evolutionarily equipped to enable the survival of their kin. Scaling a cage might not have been the appropriate gesture, but the impulse behind it goes deep into the bloodstream of the species. This armature MMA fighter even today gets roasted with the toughest yo mama jokes. Supermom strength is an untapped source of great power. When her baby gets knocked out with a sleeper hold, no cage is big enough to keep this mom out. During an MMA fight between Joe Fisher and Caleb Frasher, Fisher's mom scaled the fence when her son passed out on the floor. She could have used the door like the rest of them, but that was all the way on the other side. Which of these stare-downs have you witnessed before, and what's your favorite pick from our list? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more to come. And I'll see you next time.